New York. News lit up the weed world. U.S. health regulators recommend federal government relax restrictions on marijuana. Watch. U.S. health officials recommend moving marijuana to lower-risk drug classification. Specifically, the Federal Department of Health and Human Services recommended removing marijuana from the category of drugs considered to have no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. The agency recommended moving pot from the Schedule 1 group to less tightly regulated Schedule 3 group. So what does this mean and what are the consequences? First of all, what has actually changed? Technically nothing yet. Any decision on reclassification or rescheduling in government language is up to the Drug Enforcement Administration, which says it will address the issue. The review process is lengthy and involves public consultation. Still, HHS's advice is paradigm-changing and very exciting, said Vince Sliwoski, a Portland, Oregon-based cannabis and psychedelics attorney who runs well-known legal blogs on these topics. I can't stress enough how big news this is, he said. Red discarded joints pose danger to dogs as legal marijuana use rises. This comes after President Joe Biden asked both HHS and the Attorney General, who oversees D, to review how marijuana is classified last year. According to the program, I legally put this on the same level as heroin, LSD, Quaalude and ecstasy. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said on Thursday that Democrat Biden supports legalizing the use of medical marijuana where appropriate, consistent with medical and scientific evidence. This is why it's important for this independent review to pass. So if marijuana is reclassified, will recreational marijuana be legalized nationwide? List 3 drugs, which include ketamine, anabolic steroids, and some acetaminophen codeine combinations, are still controlled substances. They are subject to several rules that allow for certain medical uses and federal criminal prosecution against unauthorized drug traffickers. Medical marijuana programs currently licensed in 38 states, not to mention legal recreational marijuana markets in 23 states, are unlikely to meet the production, record keeping, prescribing and other requirements for Schedule 3 drugs. But the rescheduling itself will have an impact, especially on research and potential business taxes. What does this mean for research? Since cannabis was in Schedule 1, authoritative clinical trials involving administration of the drug were very difficult to conduct. This created something similar. Item 22. More research needs to be done. But there are barriers doing so. Schedule 3 drugs are easier to review. Meanwhile, a 2022 federal law aimed to facilitate marijuana research. Under federal tax law, businesses that engage in the smuggling of marijuana Schedule 1 or 2 drugs cannot deduct rent, payroll, other miscellaneous expenses that businesses may write off. Industry groups say